As the giant stepped menacingly toward them, Gabriel and Cade turned to look at each other. Reading each other's thoughts, they dashed toward the teleportation portal, desperate to get out of the room. But just as they reached the portal, the giant threw his axe, destroying it. It exploded with a boom. They froze in their step. Gabriel turned to Cade. "It destroyed the portal. We don't have a choice now. We have to get through this trial." Cade nodded, agreeing. "I'll go head-to-head with him. You look for an opening." With that, Cade charged forward, twirling his spear rapidly as he prepared to thrust his spear into the giant's torso. Gabriel stood amazed at Cade's agility, but Cade's spear barely pierced the giant's stone-like hide. The giant reached out his right hand, and the axe that destroyed the teleportation portal flew back into its hand. Cade's eyes widened as the giant took a huge swing at him. He retracted his spear and defended himself from the axe just in time. The axe's impact blasted him backward several feet. "Wow," Gabriel breathed, awed by the giant's skill. "Gabriel, now would be a good time," Cade urged as he got up to engage the giant again. Snapping into action, Gabriel circled around, seeking an opening to strike at the creature's vulnerable spots. But the giant was uncanny, despite its size, and kept its back protected. Cade kept up the assault, dancing just out of reach of the giant's swinging axe. Growing frustrated, Gabriel manifested Zephyr's Edge and hurled it with all his strength at the giant. But the slender air blade glanced off the thick muscle and sinew, returning to Gabriel without dealing damage. Just then, the giant abruptly smashed its axe down, trapping Cade's spear between its axe and the ground. Before Cade could react, the giant backhanded him, sending the youth crashing limply against the far wall. "Cade!" Gabriel cried in alarm, rushing over to his fallen comrade. To his relief, Cade was still breathing, just stunned from the overwhelming blow. Gabriel turned to face the advancing giant, Zephyr's Edge flashing back into his grip. If conventional attacks couldn't pierce its hide, he would try slicing at its more vulnerable parts instead. Aiming for his throat, Gabriel unleashed Zephyr's Edge. This time, Gabriel saw his air sword nick the giant's neck. It barely broke skin, but it was more progress than any of their attacks had achieved. "Cade, hold him off for a while longer," Gabriel hissed. "I found a weak spot." "How long exactly?" Cade bit out as struggled to stand up. "Half an hour," Gabriel declared as he summoned Zephyr's Edge again. Cade gritted his teeth. He was injured and exhausted, but they had to get through this trial. "Fine, but make haste," as the giant's axe came thundering down overhead. Cade dove and rolled away, giving himself more distance before plunging his spear into the giant. But again, the razor-sharp edge skated off the surface without leaving a scratch. Just then, Gabriel appeared behind the giant and stabbed the giant's neck. His sword managed to puncture the giant's neck by just a few inches before it got stuck. Cursing in disbelief, Gabriel narrowly dodged a backhanded swipe from the giant, forced to retreat several paces. How could its skin be so impervious? The giant growled angrily and turned its attention toward Gabriel when Cade launched a new attack from behind. With a fierce cry, he tried to plunge his spear deep into its lower back, directly targeting the kidneys. But the giant was agile. He used his axe to dispel Cade's attack, blasting Cade across the room. Gabriel growled, summoning all he had within him. He called for Skypiercer, the blade appearing in his hand in an instant. He began to unleash a full-fledged assault, sending Zephyr's Edge to the giant's neck as he wielded Skypiercer in his hands. With speed and agility, Gabriel kept moving, closing distance to slash at the giant's throat before retreating with a backflip to avoid the giant's deadly axe. Gabriel felt bolstered as the giant's neck began to split open. His tactic was working. Just then, the giant roared angrily. Its eyes narrowed as it focused all its attention now on Gabriel. Recognizing him as the main threat, it began to charge at Gabriel with great speed. Seeing the giant's renewed attack, Gabriel yelled, "Cade, a little help?" as he rolled away, dodging the giant's powerful blow. A bloodied and broken Cade let out a fierce roar as he charged at the giant from across the room. "Aim for its throat," Gabriel shouted. Cade nodded and moved in front of the giant, distracting it with wild swings of his spear, while Gabriel circled around to continue assaulting the giant's throat. The giant brought its axe down on Cade, but the teen evaded it with terrifying speed, ducking under it and closing the distance. He thrusted his spear into the giant's throat, wounding it even further. Dark blood spurted, and the creature let loose an earth-shaking bellow of pain and rage. Gabriel and Cade shared a grin. Finally, progress. But it was short-lived as the giant backhanded Cade away again and advanced on Gabriel, murderous fury etched on his face. Gabriel soon found himself frantically evading the giant's relentless blows, unable to go on the offensive. "We need to coordinate our attacks. Focus everything on its throat," Gabriel said urgently. "We're almost there." Cade nodded tiredly, using his spear shaft to prop himself up. "All right, let's do it," he said, determination shining in his eyes. Cade confronted the giant head-on, bobbing and weaving while Gabriel circled swiftly behind. After an intense exchange, Gabriel spotted his opportunity, right as the giant raised his axe high overhead, leaving its neck exposed. Gabriel unleashed a blindingly swift double slice with Zephyr's edge, his blade singing as it carved a deep gash across the giant's throat. The giant staggered, dark blood gushing down its chest as it clutched its mangled neck. They were so close. Gabriel and Cade readied themselves for one final charge. "Together?" Cade asked. "Together." As they began to advance toward the giant, Gabriel called Skypiercer back to his hand while Cade swung his spear wildly. Letting Cade attack from the front, Gabriel dove between the giant's legs to get behind him. He drove his blade straight into the deep gash he had opened earlier. With desperate strength, he carved further into its flesh. The giant's struggles grew frantic, its roars turning into ghastly choking sounds. Gabriel held on with an iron grip, carving deeper still until finally the blade pierced through the far side in a fountain of dark blood. With a final gurgling sigh, the light faded from the giant's eyes and his head toppled over, hitting the ground with a thud. Gabriel wrenched his blade free and slid to the floor in exhausted relief. After a moment to catch his breath, Gabriel called out to Cade. "Are you all right?" "I am," Cade gasped, out of breath. "I can't believe we almost died. In a training tower." Gabriel couldn't help but laugh, in relief and incredulity. "But we won." Just then, the doorway of light shuddered and slowly swung open. Gabriel tensed, prepared to face whatever new horror emerged. But instead, a slender woman in plain robes stepped forth. An ethereal glow surrounded her form. She surveyed the scene before her eyes, looking between Cade and Gabriel. "You worked together to defeat the Guardian and reach this place. Well done." "We did," Gabriel confirmed. The woman gazed over Gabriel and Cade appraisingly, then smiled. "You're both quite outstanding. You're only the second group to pass the 9th level in all of the lower realm." Gabriel and Cade exchanged startled looks. "Second place?" Cade asked eagerly. "Who was first?" "A young girl called Jezebel," the woman replied. "She passed the 9th level trial alone. She was 17 years old, just like you both." Hearing this, Gabriel and Cade's excitement dimmed. Their triumph at overcoming the trial now seemed less exceptional. But the woman laughed kindly. "Don't be discouraged. Reaching this level at your age is still an incredible achievement." As she spoke, a box materialized in her palm. "It's time for your reward." Gabriel blinked in surprise. "Just one box for both of us?" The woman nodded. "There is only one reward." Gabriel pressed his luck. "But there are 2 of us. Can you conjure another?" The woman blinked back impassively. "No, you must share." Gabriel fell silent, a bit abashed by her denial. Opening the box, he saw a scroll inside. "What is this?" he asked curiously. "An immortal-grade sun-blessed manual," the woman proclaimed. Gabriel and Cade's eyes lit up eagerly. Such a treasure was beyond even what the Southern Academy possessed. Exchanging a look, Gabriel said diplomatically, "We can study it together." Cade nodded in fervent agreement. "And after? I will keep it," Gabriel added casually. Cade immediately shook his head, objecting to that high-handed claim. "No, you will not." Seeing no other option, Gabriel turned back to the woman. "Would it be possible for you to conjure another copy?" he asked, a bit sheepishly. The woman opened her mouth to respond when her expression abruptly shifted. as if seeing something astonishing. Without a word, she seized Gabriel's hand, peering at him intently. "Mad devil," she murmured cryptically, stunning Gabriel with her dramatic change in demeanor. What was she sensing from him? He was utterly confused. Eventually, the woman released his hand, her gaze softening. "Very well." She acquiesced with a smile. Another box appeared in her palm. Elated, Gabriel and Kate accepted the rewards. "Be sure to visit me at the Academy's headquarters in the future," she said as she began to fade away. "Do you know her?" Kate asked after she disappeared. Gabriel shook his head. "No." He frowned, more curious than ever about his origins.